ladies and gentlemen, devolution must not only be seen to succeed, but we have no option but to deepen it and make it successful. It will be a tribute to our brother Raila Odinga, who's all the time fought for it. And I think we need also to give him here a big clap, because this is why the father of devolution in our country. And he once shared with me a story of how far across the world he went to look at the best practices on how to actually do devolution in Kenya. But you know, governors, you have work to do. You have also to congratulate the National Dialogue team of Azimio, because nobody has remembered. And I want to thank my brother Kaluma and the team. I mentioned because you are the host MP here. The Parliament actually quickly passed the National Dialogue Committee report. And under its terms, we managed to push the Kenya Kwanza team to accept, at least to put it in writing, that the shareable revenue to the county governments will now move from 15 to 20%. It is now in writing, officially. Gladys Wanga getting an extra 5% is something. And even if they want to go up, that's okay. If they go lower, they know they can't go below 15%. Therefore, our team, ably assisted by my brother Wandai, who I'm sure is in Parliament prosecuting these matters, did something. And we need to really push it harder. Push it so hard that there will be no doubt in our mind that devolution must succeed. When you talk of 5,000, 7,000 bed capacity, people think it is, several years ago nobody cared. And that's all the money went to Sakaja's county, and with which Sakaja pays people's bills after they eat at the restaurants. They actually pay for themselves, but I think Sakaja almost said, put it on my account. Wataambiwa hakuna cha bure. So now, before I invite our brother, I just want to say very boldly here in Homa Bay that our brother will be making a formal application to become the next chairperson of the African Union Commission, itself successor to what used to be Organization of African Unity. The closest time our region, our leadership of that continental body, was during the times of the Prime Minister then of Tanzania, Salim Ahmed. And when his candidature was proposed that time, you may not know, this is history, to become the UN Secretary General, the Americans vetoed his candidature. Mwalimu Nyerere then said, well, they will still have to deal with our son from the point of view of the Secretary General of the Organization of African Unity. That's how Dr. Ahmed Salim became the Secretary General of the OAU. Now, under the Constitutive Act, is a bigger and an enhanced body of African leadership. And I know our brother going to that position, you do several things. First of all, he's a Pan-Africanist, and we know him. He has worked for transformation, for deepening of our democratic gains. And I heard our brother Jim, and I wish, Jim, you could come out as clearly as you always do, that there's an attempt at clawback on devolution. And that I can tell you, we will not allow as Azimio. Kenyans must know for sure from here that what you are saying is there's no vacuum, absolutely no vacuum. In fact, we have up to April for Raila Amolo Odinga to submit his documents. But of course, before then, he has to traverse the continent to look for votes. And this I'm sure he will do. When he was the African High Representative for Infrastructure, he did a lot of that. So the name and the name recognition is, I think, his biggest asset. And I know the East African region will give him support because he needs this. It is now, after so many years since Dr. Ahmed Salim, it is the turn of East Africa. And I think our negotiating teams in Addis Ababa must make it very clear to the rest of the continent, because this is not a given. Our brothers to fight for it. And we all have to fight for it. Let us not assume that he's just getting it, because there could be other candidates. But we believe as a region, we have the best candidate. We issued that statement as Azimio before he left for Germany, and we said that we will stand by him. And we said his candidature is bipartisan.